Artists, if you're using SubmitHub and you're not getting the results that you want, I've got some tips for you to help improve your chances dramatically. And quickly, before I start with the success of the beatmaking competition, I'm going to introduce a monthly draw for credits to my website. The credits will be valid for sample packs or merch, or you can hold the credits off until the next sample pack comes out. All you have to do to enter is like this video, comment on this video, and hit the subscribe button. I'll have 4 chances to enter with the 4 videos each month, and at the end of the month I'll collate all the entries and do a random draw and pick a winner. But yeah, onto the video. I've used SubmitHub as both a independent musician and a curator, and I see the same mistakes being made time and time again. So tip number 1 is be conscious about when you send your music in to influencers and curators. If you send it in on a Friday or a Saturday, generally that's when most people release music, and that's when most people straight away try to promote their music. So every Friday and Saturday, you can see from my stats here that I get an influx of submissions on Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm also trying to get through the backlog. By Monday, it's usually calmed down, but generally Monday's quite a busy day for catching up on emails and that sort of thing. So I would recommend submitting your music on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, because generally there's less competition those days. You've got more time to listen to submissions, more time to give more detailed feedback if I don't like them, and generally more tracks are getting featured on the playlist. Tip number 2 is one that most people are sort of onto by this point, but always ask for feedback on your tracks. You've got 3 options on SubmitHub. There's asking for full feedback, saying feedback's not important to you, and then asking for no feedback at all, but just listening to the track for 90 seconds. It might seem tempting to ask for 90 seconds of listen time on your track, but in my experience, when it's a 90-second track listen, I don't really have to think about anything feedback related. I've just got to decide whether I like it or not. And often being pushed to give feedback makes me evaluate the track more. And if potentially I don't like it on first listen, after actually evaluating the production quality and how it fits with my playlists, I might still add it in. And then also, if feedback is less important, generally people give less detailed feedback to you. And generally it's really valuable to get that feedback, even if it's hard to read critical feedback sometimes. It's really useful to know if the playlist that you're trying to get onto just doesn't like that style of music, or if you've done something wrong production wise, whatever it may be. So it's always worth asking for detailed feedback. Tip number 3 is don't send multiple similar tracks in at once, especially if you've never dealt with that creator before. I often get people sending in 4 similar tracks from an EP, and then if the first one is not the right style for my playlist, I've then got 3 more submissions that have exactly the same issues. And generally for me, I would just decline all 3 so you get your credits back, but some creators won't do that, and you'll end up getting 4 tracks rejected and all the submission tokens will be taken. So it's a bit of a waste of money on your end, and it's unnecessary. Just send in 1 track. If they like it, you can send a similar track again in afterwards. There's no need to send them all at the same time. So that's number 3. Tip number 4 is make sure you do your research, particularly for playlist submissions. If you're sending it into the playlist, make sure you have a quick listen to the playlist beforehand. A lot of time when I reject songs, they should have known straight away that it wasn't the right fit. If they'd listened to the playlist, they'd know that. So it's a waste of your time, it's a waste of the creator's time. You don't want to get into their bad books if you keep sending tracks that aren't the right style for their playlist. So make sure you do research, take a listen, read what they say about the playlist, and see if you've got a track that'll fit. And then on top of that, if it doesn't fit, make sure you take a note of what track it was, why it didn't fit, what they said, the feedback, and try and use that next time. Don't just go in blind every time. Make sure you're taking the feedback on board. Another thing that I find is often I'll give feedback on a track. A lot of the time I'll give feedback saying why a track's not fit for my playlist, and then a few weeks later I'll get another track with the same issue. So make sure you're not doing that as well. Tip number 5, just a quick one, but if you're going to rate a creator's feedback 1 out of 5 because they've given bad feedback or it wasn't useful, make sure that it's not because the feedback was critical. But if you rate someone 1 out of 5, be careful of sending more tracks in, because when you do that, they can see what you've rated their tracks in the past, and if you're rating them 1 star out of 5 for feedback, they're probably just going to reject you altogether and not bother trying. So yeah, that's tip number 5. And then finally, tip number 6 is always add a personalized message on your submissions. You've got the option to do this quite easily on SubmitHub. For each entry, just go on there, add personalized message, say dear whoever the creator is, add a little message. It can be a copy and paste from the other submissions, just changing the name, but even just adding the name of the creator shows that you put a little bit of effort into understanding who they are, and often it can give you a better chance, because 90% of people just don't bother. So it'll add an extra minute onto your submissions process, but it's such an easy thing to give you a little bit of an edge when sending music in to the creators and playlisters. But yeah, that's it for this video. Quite a short one this week, but just wanted to rattle off some tips to help you improve your marketing on SubmitHub. I'm going to try and start posting more than once a week soon. I've got a lot of ideas on the go at the moment for videos, so a lot more to come. But yeah, thanks for watching.